It's day 7, and we're discussing smarter prompt rewrites with Mr. Gideon Sunday.
AI prompting and how to rewrite your content effectively. Just like it has been said already, my name is Gideon Sunday, and I would be taking us on this short period of amazing AI tools prompting. So first and foremost, I would like us to understand what I know majority of the speakers had dealt um, ideally into what AI is, but today we'll just look at what iterative prompt rewriting is and what it actually means to prompt your AI well iteratively. So when we're talking about iterative prompt rewriting, it is a process of redefining and actually improving a prompt through multiple cycles of redefinement. What I'm saying is that the process of redefining and improving a particular prompt, what's the prompt itself? The prompts are the words, are the things, are the user inputs, are the calls. They are, you could say, you could put it as the functions, you could put them as the action. So we could say that this iterative prompt rewriting is actually a process of rewriting. Maybe let's take for instance, you have asked what is a cat, and you want to iteratively describe or get specifics about what you're talking about. Then the process of iteratively making sure that you have a cat in that statement and then redefining it to ensure that you improve its outcome is what we call iterative prompt rewriting. So the goal is actually to create a clear, specified, and well-defined prompt for efficient communication such that your desired output is bring into being. So first and foremost, there are diverse of steps involved in iterative prompt rewriting, and we could just start with the basics. Let's just say the first thing you should do is initialization of prompts. For those of us who write code and all of that, there is something called when you initialize your variable, that you're making sure that your stored location is empty. That's what happens when you open any of your chats. That's what happens when you open a chat and you're like, oh, you open a chat and the first thing you're like, oh, AI, we are here, and guess what? We'll be talking about how to build a house. And AI initially will reply you by saying, oh man, I'm here to help you. Give me more details about what exactly you need. Let the AI be aware that we're about to go into a session of research which has to do with building or house building. So at that first point, the first thing is initialization of prompts. So example of what we mean by initialization of prompts is, hi AI, we're about to dive into house building. Hope is an exciting journey for you because response that has been generated by initial prompts, you redefine it by adding more details, clarifying ambiguity, and rephrasing some questions. Oh yeah, oh we've talked about. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be doing this particularly, but anyway, don't worry. In our next session, will ensure that we cover up all of this. So like I had said, you said okay, fine. I'm excited to take you about the journey of our house building. Hope to get more details from you. Now that takes you to the next stage that has to do with review and redefine, where you're like, oh yes, I want to build a house and I'm interested in building a two-bedroom flat bungalow at this square meter land. What's your thought about that? That is review and redefine. And once you're done with that, it gives you a particular output. If peradventure you ask for image, he could generate image for you. If peradventure you ask for clarity on how the building process will go, he's going to give you response to that effect. So from that point, you move into what we call the repeat the circle. Repeat the circle actually means that you repeat step 1 and 2 multiple times, redefining the prompt each time iteratively. So what that simply means is that at every point in time, you keep um, you keep repeating the cycle of initialization and review. But I will share with you I'll share with you I'll share basic steps. I'll share basic steps on why why we should do prompting, like basic steps on the essential. I'll share the 7 essential ingredients that makes an effective prompt. I'll share that with that 7 essential ingredients, you'll be able to understand how and the way and approaches you should be able to make your prompt. But guess what? This first time I'm talking about iterative prompt rewriting. So these are just a few steps. The 4 steps: number one, initialize your prompt; number two, review and redefine the prompt; then number three, you repeat the cycle of one and two; then number four, you evaluate and adjust. Evaluation and adjustment here simply means that you evaluate the response generated by each prompt. Now let's take for instance you're trying to do a research, and you're asking, oh, I need a publication on transportation issues in Nigeria. Use upper star referencing. Use the 7th edition upper star referencing. And it brought out documentation, brought out resources, but then you are not convinced enough with the standard of the referencing. So at that point, you know what upper star referencing is, you know the 7th edition, what it entails, the format of what the 7th edition is. Because you know, this evaluation and adjustment being the last stage will be able to help you to redefine your prompting to be able to suit your desired outcome. Now, the benefits of this iterative prompting is that it improves accuracy, and it increases relevance, and it also enhances efficiency and better understanding of a particular subject matter. Because let's take, for instance, let me give you an example that will demonstrate the initial prompt, the revise. Okay, number one, let's just say plan a vacation. That's initializing the prompt. Example, plan a vacation. Then how do you revive the first prompt? Pick up another input. You say plan a 7 day summer vacation to the beach destination in Europe. If we are communicating, please, I would like to get hundreds to know that we're all listening and paying attention accurately. Let's just have 100 coming. Let's have 100 coming. Let's have 100 reaction coming. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So yeah, talking about the initialization of prompts, we talk about, okay, the first thing is plan a vacation. Just start. Type into your chat box plan a vacation. That's the first initializing of prompts after you open your chat box, either of chat box. Plan a vacation. It gives you an output of how you will plan your vacation. Now, moving over to the step two, we talked about revised prompt. Revised prompt here means you are you are redefining your prompt, which was plan a vacation. Now, what is the redefining of this prompt? You say plan a 7 day summer vacation to the beach destination in Europe. To a beach destination in Europe. You have done what we call a redefined prompt, which is the step two. Now we have an output. Now, step three, you move over to saying, okay, fine, I like your output, but then I need something more concrete. Step three, you move over to saying, plan a 7 day summer vacation at the beach destination in Europe, focusing on a relaxation and outdoor activities with a budget of, let's say, $500 per person. What you have been able to do in this last prompt, which happens to be the redefined prompt, is that number one, you have been able to have a timeline to your prompting. You have been able to add a specific budgeting. You have been able to add a focus on the numbers of persons you are expecting. You have been able to give more detailed information about the location, about the season, about because the season of a particular vacation will help you in your planning. Let's take, for instance, you cannot just tell it, the first prompting we talked about planning vacation. He's going to give you a random planning of a vacation. What if we go into a winter? You need another planning of the vacation. So those are kind of things you need to that has to be put into consideration when it gets to the stage of the divine prompting. And just like I said before, you evaluate to see if it suits what you actually are designed to be your output. So number one, let's talk about the 7 essential ingredients that will make your prompting very, very effective. 7 essential ingredients that will make your prompting very, very wonderful. Number one is the length of your prompt. The length of your prompts. Number two, the type of copy. We will explain this more deeply in our next meeting. Then we'll talk about the products or services. I'll use the example we just did in our last. I'll give example to all of them. Your target audience, number four. The target audience, number one is the length. Tell the chat the length of what you want. The length, that's number one. Then number two, the type of copy. Number three, the products or services. Number four, the target audience. Then number five, the tone of words that you intend to use or intend to get. Number six, the call to action. Number seven, the key points to be included. Now, I would um, I would share a basic prompting that could help us effectively have these 7 key essential skills in our prompting, in our chats. So let's take for instance this write-up. Let's take for instance this write-up now. We have talked about length. We have talked about the type of copy. We have talked about the products or services. We have talked about the target audience. We have talked about the tone of voice. We have talked about the call to action. We also talk about the key points to be included in your context. Now, let me use this. Write a 150 word Facebook words on Facebook ads about a news headline of Gideon's Kitchen products for environmental awareness using persuasive tone. The call to action for this Gideon's Kitchen is to generate clicks on the product. So make sure that the highlights of the sustainability of the materials are designed stylishly for the product. That's a prompt. Oh, I think I should just drop this in the comment section. So that's the prompt. Number one, the first line I said, write a 150 word for a Facebook ads for Gideon's Kitchen. I have been able, in these 7 essential skills, that first line I've been able to tailor down the content of what I'm supposed to get, the length of what I'm supposed to get to be 150 words. Now, the type of copy here has to do with a Facebook ad, which actually means, okay, this 150 length of words is unique to a type of content which is specifically a Facebook ad. Now, the next thing which happens to be a product or services, which is the number 3 7 essential skill. In this my content, it is about Gideon's Kitchen. It is about Gideon's Kitchen. Now, the targeted audience for this, which is number 4, the targeted audience for this group of people is people who are environmental conscious about food. These are the target audience, people who likes food. And I am saying in this my content that it should be persuasive. That is the tone they are requesting from the chat should be something that should persuade people, should persuade these food conscious people, should persuade them to be able to get the food. Now I've talked about call to action. The call to action here happens to be the desired outcome. What is the desired outcome for this Facebook ad for the Gideon's Kitchen? It is for people to click. It's for people to comment. That's the desired outcome. The desired outcome. That is the desired outcome, which is call to action. And then the key point, which happens to be the number 7 point in these 7 essential skills, is that this product should be stylishly designed. That also means that at the end of all of this, that everything about the content, about what is going to be displayed to me should capture a mind of creative and stylish design. So two things are going to come out in this prompt. Number one, you get a creative that's what you're going to get as a clear picture of the prompting you are going to have as your output. So basically, you discover that your length of words has been concise, the type of text you are using has been concise, the product or services, which is number 3, the targeted audience, the tone of the voice, the call to action, the key points is also included. So with these 7 ingredients, you discover that your prompting, your iterative prompt rewrite would be very, very effective and accurate. Your iterative prompting will difference what you did differently. Let me repeat that again. Rewrite the prompt of your choice 3 times. Observe the results, that's the improved results, and then you will share with us what you find out in this, what you find out to be a repetition. 3 things. What is consistent in the content? What is repetitive? Being repetitive and consistent may be the same thing, but there are differences. There are differences. And then what is the difference? So what changes, and also note the changes you made to the prompts. How did the response get improved? What did you learn from the exercise? So 3 things as a take-home assignment. Number 1, rewrite a prompt for 3 times. Then share with us, number 1, the changes you made for each of the prompts. Number 2, how did the response improve based on the changes you made? Then number 3, what did you learn from each of the prompting? How did you get to understand that, oh, this is how the AI prompt is reasoning? So with this takeaway, I believe we
Please,
should
can you take that again?
okay. So the assignment is rewrite a prompt of your choice for 3 times. Observe how the results improve. That's the assignment. Rewrite a prompt of your choice for 3 times. Observe how the results improve in the following key areas. 1, what changes did you make to the prompt? That's the first thing. Number 2, how did the response improve? Number 2, how did the response improve? Number 1, what changes did you make to the prompt? Then number 3, what did you learn from this exercise? What did you learn? How did you understand the reasoning? At the end of this, would you say that AI is reasoning like a human being, or is reasoning like what I give to him? So in conclusion, I would say that iterative prompting and rewriting is a powerful technique for improving the results we get from a different language model. Remember, these AIs are diverse models that have been trained, and by redefining our prompting and providing a more contextual information, we would accurately unlock a more powerful response to help us in our productivity. Remember that AI is basically an assistant and augmenting tool. AI is meant to augment your productivity. So um, at every point in time, just have that at the back of your mind that your AI prompting is as good as you are and is as worse as the input you put it in. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. Gideon. Thank you very much. So, what an insightful session we have had today. A big thank you to Mr. Gideon. Please thank Mr. Gideon with the most exciting emoji you have. Clap for Mr. Gideon. So, today we learned about iterative prompt refinements and 7 ingredients that will make our prompts effective. So I hope you have taken notes, and don't worry, the slides will be made available to us soon. So a special thank you to our host, Mrs. Gloria Idemo, for creating this platform for growth and learning for everyone. And to everyone who joined and engaged, thank you for making this session a success, because without you, there will be no webinar. So on this note, we have come to the end of today's webinar. Good night and have a good night rest.